Most people never become adults, not because they lack intelligence, but because nothing ever forced them to carry weight. Most people pass through life without ever being interrupted. No moment that forces them to stop. No moment that demands reorganization. No moment that says, "You cannot continue like this." They grow older, they gather information, they collect experiences, but something essential never forms. Not strength, not intelligence. Weight. The weight of responsibility. And this absence has quietly become normal. So normal that most people no longer notice what is missing. Across cultures, across centuries, there was always one silent question. Can you carry more than yourself? Not comfort, not pleasure, not freedom from effort, but weight. Adulthood was never defined by ease. It was defined by what a person could endure without losing character. Maturity was never assumed. It had to be earned. Traditional societies understood something modern culture has forgotten. A person does not drift into maturity. They must be interrupted, pulled out of familiarity, separated from ease, placed before difficulty, not to harm them, but to reveal them. Initiation was not cruelty. It was a threshold, and thresholds matter. Because without a clear crossing, the mind never reorganizes. Without interruption, identity remains unfinished. Modern life removed this interruption. There is no moment of separation, no demand to stand alone, no early call to carry weight. Instead, there is extension, extended adolescence, extended dependence, extended avoidance of consequence. And this feels like freedom, but it isn't. It is delay. Delay disguised as choice. Delay disguised as comfort. Delay disguised as kindness. Psychologists warned long ago that when development is postponed, it does not simply resume later, it adapts. An adult body forms, but the orientation remains immature. The child seeks safety. The mature person accepts burden. The child avoids responsibility. The mature person organizes life around it. And when burden is avoided long enough, the capacity to carry it weakens. What is not practiced does not stay available. Carl Jung warned that regression is always nearby. It does not arrive loudly. It does not announce collapse. It whispers, "Rest a little longer. Someone else will handle it. You deserve comfort." Regression does not look like failure. It looks like distraction, entertainment, endless postponement, a life full of stimulation but slowly emptied of direction. Comfort feels harmless, even kind. But comfort is not neutral. It either restores strength or quietly replaces growth. When comfort becomes a lifestyle, it does not soothe capacity. It erodes it. This is why ancient cultures were suspicious of ease. Not because they rejected pleasure, but because they understood its cost. Some people sense this erosion and react aggressively. They confuse maturity with domination, loudness, posturing, control. But this is not strength. It is panic. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that uncontrolled power does not prove strength. It reveals inner weakness. A person who cannot govern themselves will eventually try to govern others. True strength is not loud. It is stable under pressure. Stoicism stripped character down to essentials. A mature individual is one who accepts responsibility without resentment, acts deliberately under stress, chooses restraint when impulse is easier. This is not repression. It is mastery. And mastery is quiet. It does not seek attention. It does not demand validation. It holds. Maturity was never a personal luxury. It was a social function. people were expected to move toward uncertainty, toward burden, toward responsibility. Not because they were superior, but because someone had to. When this expectation disappears, societies do not become gentle. They become fragile. Today, maturity is often misunderstood. It is treated as either oppressive or unnecessary. But removing the demand for maturity does not remove hardship. It only removes preparation. And unprepared individuals do not create stable societies. They create brittle ones. This does not return through movements or slogans or outrage. It returns privately, through discipline, through voluntary hardship, through choosing effort when no one is watching. No ceremony announces this. That is why it works. What is postponed long enough does not remain optional. It begins to feel heavy, then unfamiliar, then impossible. Not because the weight increased, but because the capacity to carry it was never built. This is how strength disappears, not through loss, but through neglect. Nothing was taken. Preparation simply stopped. No one enters the world mature. Maturity is assembled. Slowly, deliberately, often uncomfortably. Comfort delays it. Responsibility forces it. Nothing else will carry it for you. And a person who can carry themselves does not need the world to bend around them. They already carry what matters most.